Hey folks, welcome into the DFS Army DFS Minute. I am Chapadong, and of course I represent DFSArmy.com. One-stop shopping, all things daily fantasy sports. We talk everything from MLB to NHL to NBA this time of year, NASCAR, PGA, all of it under one roof. Every tool, every bit of coaching, everything for under $50 a month. If you compare pricing around the industry, that is ridiculous for the amount of tools that you get, for the amount of coaching that you get, because nobody offers real coaching like we do. I mean, they try. But people don't dig into your game like we do, spend the time with you and really talk to you about things like this that we're going to go through here in just a second. So if you would jump down to the bottom there, hit the like, subscribe, and the notification bell, I would really appreciate it. And look in the comment section if you want to become a VIP for the link, dfsarmy.com, and the coupon code CHOP, C-H-O-P, that triggers 20% off each and every month you stay a member. Because again, why not throw you a little bit more money? We're already saving you a ton just in our normal pricing anyway. Let's talk a little bit of hockey, and let's explain a new tool that we have at dfsarmy.com. It is called the goalie or goal correlation matrix. Correlation in hockey is unbelievably important. A lot of times the goal gets scored, it comes from an assist. Now you want that player that has that assist too, because it's kind of like two major scoring events on a single play, and it's highly efficient when you can hit that just right. So bear with me a little bit on the technical challenge that I've had lately. I've got Chrome messing with me a little bit, so I've got to open up Firefox to really show you the tool. But if you're at dfsarmy.com, you come under the NHL window, and it's down here under Goal Correlation Matrix. What we're looking at is the top 20 correlated pairs, top 20 correlated power plays. And if I can actually find the next tool in here as well, there is a neat little tool that also shows where these come from, and it shows the percentages of which. You can see the teams, and you can see all of these guys, but I would like to see if I can find, there it is, under the team players, the teams, you can see the percentages at which they correlate as well. So let's kind of walk through this a little bit. Go back over here to the correlation charts, and you can see that overall in the NHL, Boston Bruins have the top correlated pair in Marchand and Pastrnak. 39 goals that these two are in on it together. You can see Bergeron and Pastrnak, and then you come down a little bit farther, you can probably see Marchand, Bergeron, Bergeron, Marchand. Whoever scores and whoever gets the assist, you can see how many goals they've correlated. When you see Boston all over this mess, you know that that top line is doing all of the damage for Boston. If you look over here, power play pairs, you can come down a little bit here for correlated stacks. You see Marchand, Bergeron, Pastrnak, Bergeron, Marchand, Pastrnak, 18 goals each in that order. And again, it's just pointing out how correlated these guys are. Carolina Hurricanes has their top line very, very correlated. This goes back through the year. So if these lines have changed in the past 2 days, these numbers are going to be off. If Bergeron, Marchand, and Pastrnak are not on that top line for whatever reason, the coach drops Marchand to line 2, then it messes that correlation up. It doesn't mess up the correlation between the pair of Bergeron and Pastrnak, but it would mess up the stack in Bergeron with Marchand or whatever, because Marchand's no longer on that line. You need players on the ice at the same time. If you look over here, power play wise, Winnipeg Jets, Connor, Scheifele, and Laine, that line's not together anymore. It's like Connor, Wheeler, and Scheifele or something like that. So that doesn't mean that this part of the chart is useless. It means you have to pay attention to the line changes and understand what pieces are still the same because they're still highly correlated and what piece might have dropped out, because that makes a big, big difference in what you're looking at. But you can see that Boston has one line, Winnipeg has a line, Carolina has a line, Edmonton has a line. When you see these lines together in charts like Daily Face-Off or whatever, and they reunite these lines, get back on that stack because it is correlated. And it may take the rest of the DFS world a day or 2 or 3 to pick up on that, and you can get the jump on it early with a tool like this. If we dive into the Boston stacks, though, do you hear me there? Boston? Do you hear me give it a little bit? You can get into the Marchand, Bergeron, and Pastrnak stacks. See, all these other guys kind of shuffle up a little bit. They're not really highly correlated. I mean, they're okay. But if you look at where all of the green is, it's this top line. It is a very dominant line in Boston. They keep that line together. If I'm looking at Marchand here, 45% of the time, Bergeron's in on his goal, Pastrnak 60% of the time. I look at Bergeron, 45% of the time, 44% of the time, these other two are in on his goal. Pastrnak, 44% of the time. that Marchand's in on his goal. So what you're seeing is a lot of what we're looking at, though, is that Bergeron here tends to spread the puck out a little bit equally to these guys. He's more of the distributor. He's obviously more of the playmaker, of the setup guy. You see other guys like this around the league. Ryan O'Reilly in St. Louis comes to mind because I'm a St. Louis guy. But you see guys that like to Wayne Gretzky would have been this guy. I mean, yeah, Wayne Gretzky scores a lot of goals, but really and truly dishes the puck still more than he scored goals back in the day. So what you're looking at is an assist machine. And in the reverse direction, when you see a lot of the scoring coming from these other guys, Pastrnak and Marchand, and Bergeron's not scoring a ton of goals from these guys, they're not passing the puck to him. He's passing the puck to them. That's what. So if you're looking for the goals, you want to chase the goals, you're looking for a Pastrnak or a Marchand. If you're looking to pair it up with somebody most likely to get the assist, it would be Bergeron with Pastrnak or Bergeron with Marchand. And then from there, you may add in that third guy to complete the stack. But that's not necessarily the lethal stack that you might see on some other teams if they factored into more of the assists. If that second winger wasn't also a goal scorer. You're looking at when Pastrnak gets the puck, he's shooting as a result of his higher percentages. He ain't giving the puck back. Bergeron is giving the puck back. Therefore, you're looking for the goal scorers in Pastrnak and Marchand on this line. You can run those two together, skip Bergeron, and go grab a Nathan MacKinnon off of another team. You've got Marchand and Pastrnak that if Bergeron had a big game, it probably came out through one of those two guys as well. Those two guys typically score the goals. Occasionally they factor in with each other in terms of an assist. But then you can go grab another premier goal scorer like a Connor McDavid, Nathan MacKinnon, Austin Matthews. And you can actually build a two-team stack with Matthews in the center, Marchand and Pastrnak on the sides. It's going to be expensive. You could drop down to a couple of other, pick up maybe somebody like a Kuznetsov and get access to Alexander Ovechkin. Can maybe drop down to these other guys. And you can find these guys in this stack. You can complete kind of customized stacks, if you will, that make a ton of sense. If you could find in these, and I'm not going to show you this because it's VIP information, but if you could flip through these teams and find like a Jack Eichel, that's pretty much the major source of scoring on that team, and he happens to be a center, he's going to score more goals probably than a Pastrnak or than a Bergeron. And so you've got three goal scorers that may factor into some assists somewhere, but you've got the primary goal scorers on that top unit. And that's how you're going to drive your lineups, your GPP lineups a little bit deeper. You're not going to hit on those goals every night, but when you hit on those goals in the same night, you're not wasting some of those 4 to 6 points extra with assists. You're not missing out on that 4 to 6 point gap between a goal and an assist. You're actually piling in the goals. People ask all the time about stacking. Should I stack? Yes, because it broadens your net. It gives you access to Marchand, Bergeron, and Pastrnak if you stack them. It gives you a wider margin for error when you don't know exactly where the goals are going to come from. But if you have the time to dive in a little bit deeper and start looking into the teams and into how they're structured and start cherry picking out the goal scorers, you could have a stack like a Boston Bruins highly correlated line one stack. And then you could sprinkle in other goal scorers for value around them and focus more on the goal scorers. And you could run a 3 by 1 by 1 by 1 by 1 by 1. And you could do some damage and some GPPs on the right night. And you would be pretty unique in doing that. Because the world stacks. They run a stack on this team, a stack on this team. They run 3 by 2 by 2, 3 by 3, 4 by 4, all these types of stack formations that they're running. And if you look at the top, the very, very top, go into the Nichols contest because it's 25, 30,000 people every single night, and watch the winners of those giant GPPs. Those are the near nut lineups across the industry. And they're the freaky ones. The guy last night in Anaheim or whatever had the natural hat trick in the first period. He was 0.1% owned in the Nichols. He was in the winning lineup, though. When you're going on near nut lineups, typically speaking, if somebody had a big night, the winner had him. Because the winner had as close to the perfect combination or a perfect lineup as he could have got. And if you look across those lineups, you will see maybe some pairs and then one off, one off, one off, one off, one off. Because they're chasing the goal scorers, because they're getting those extra points. And again, they don't have the margin for error that you or I might have if we're stacking a full line. And yes, we want the Boston Bruins to score 6 goals, and we want all 6 goals to come off that top line. And if that happens, we don't give a crap who scored, who got the assist, or what. We scooped up a ton of points that way. But most nights that line might produce a goal and a couple assists, or 2 goals and a couple of assists. It's not going bonkers. You can cherry pick the goal scorers off of each individual team, and you can start to put together some boom or bust lineups for GPPs in a very, very unique way. And if you hear us talk about winning GPPs, we talk about leverage, we talk about ownership, we talk about being unique and finding ways to build lineups that nobody else is building. And then when your night comes together around you, boom, it works, and you get deep into the money because nobody else has the combinations of players that you have, and you're up there on the leaderboard all by yourself. If this is the type of stuff that interests you, and these are the types of tools that interest you to tell the story of what might happen tonight and where the odds are most likely to perform or where the odds are most likely to succeed, and you can find those hidden gems, you need to be a VIP at DFSArmy.com. You need to come in, you need to ask me, you need to ask the other coaches how to look through these tools, how to look at what these tools are trying to tell you, and how to interpret the information. You need access to the coaching because the tools only, sure, might help you some, but you aren't going to know the nuances of these because you weren't in the meetings that planned and devised and designed these tools like we are. We discussed these tools before we release them, so we know the tools and what they're supposed to be telling you, and you can certainly ask us questions. We will give you straight, honest answers every single day. And that's why you see our Army hats on the leaderboards all the time winning, because we share this information with our members. So get your butts in here. Use the coupon code CHOP down there at the bottom in the comment section. Click the link. Be a VIP today and start winning at basketball, baseball, football, XFL, golf, NASCAR, college basketball is coming with March Madness, all of it. And you get all 10 of those sports or whatever number of sports it is for one freaking price. It is the best value in all of DFS. And it's here at DFSArmy.com. Take care, guys. We'll see you soon.